Guess who was the final person to put in an unmasking request on Mike Flynn 8 days before President Trump took office? Vice President Joe Biden, now the Democrat candidate who is attempting to defeat President Trump.
The first unmasking is from Samantha Powers, the UN ambassador. What she was doing involved in this raises a whole series of questions that we don't even have time to get into today. But that was the first one. And then, as Jordan said, it ends with the vice president. Then, the United States of America versus Michael Flynn, Judge Sullivan appoints an amicus curiae, a former district court judge, to basically serve, in my view, and this is how I analyze it, Andy, I think he's serving as a special counsel, special prosecutor against Flynn.
Yeah, but basically he is just another prosecutor appointed now by a judge. So the judicial power of Judge Sullivan has moved over, and he has also become the executive branch.
I mean, Andy, collectively, you and I have been practicing law like 90 years. I've never heard of anything like this in my life. Never in my life have I heard of anything like what Judge Sullivan has done in the last 2 days. The judge in the case is appointing another judge, a retired judge, to basically prosecute. Jordan could read the order.
This is a
Michael Flynn, after the Department of Justice says we're withdrawing the prosecution.
This is a judge, former judge, now in a law firm, a partner in a law firm, who's been highly critical of President Trump. So very partisan guy. He's the judge ordered that the court exercise what he's calling inherent authority. That's something new.
By the way, that 27 times said no third-party amicus curiae briefs in the Flynn case.
To appoint the Honorable John Gleeson as amicus curiae, and he tells him what he's going to be arguing, not just to say, get his opinion on it even, but to argue in opposition to the government's motion to dismiss, and then orders that the amicus curiae will address whether the court should issue an order to show cause why Mr. Flynn should not be held in criminal contempt for perjury. Also, what's interesting in this order, Dad, is that in yesterday's minute order from Judge Sullivan, it made it look like we could file an amicus brief.
That's not so clear from
this.
Not
so clear now because he's appointing the amicus. He's appointed a former judge who's been very much against President Trump, who's a partner at a law firm. I think that actually was a law firm that was linked to defending Sally Yates, right? Yep. Okay. Andy would love that.
That's surprising.
A conflict of interest, anyone? That's what Capitol Hill needs to be pointing out because, Jay, they've had these documents a lot longer than we have. We also have conclusive proof. We had this yesterday, but this went all the way to the White House, to the Oval Office, to President Obama on January 5th. After that meeting in the Oval Office, who was one of the people that made an unmasking request? It was Dennis McDonough, the chief of staff to President Obama. And I will tell you, Jay, that is the same as President Obama making that unmasking request.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I want to play this. This is George Stephanopoulos 4 days ago asking Joe Biden about this, but before Joe Biden got exposed. So take a listen, because he's either very forgetful, and if he's this forgetful, he should not be running for president of the United States. But he's a liar, is what Joe Biden is, and he lied on national television to George Stephanopoulos, who should be calling him out on it now.
Let's
see if they do next week.
What did you know about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, and was there anything improper done?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
I do want to press that. You say you didn't know anything about it, but you were reported to be at a January 5th, 2017 meeting where you and the president were briefed on the FBI's plan to question Michael Flynn over those conversations he had with the Russian ambassador Kislyak.
No, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was aware that they asked for an investigation, but that's all I know.
He either is not fit to be president because he doesn't know what he's done in his career and he's got some issues going on, or two, he's a liar.
Or, as Andy has said,
protect the king.
The job was protect the king. Andy?
Yes, you always protect the king. You always protect, in Obama's case, the emperor. This is something that's so fantastic. When I saw the name of Jacob Lew, who was the Secretary of the Treasury on that list, it was absolutely mind-boggling to me. What in the world would the Secretary of the Treasury have to do with making an unmasking request? I cannot conceive of a reason for that.
Okay, Fan, you head up our government affairs. What government affair was he involved in besides unmasking?
Yeah, I can conceive of a reason, Jay. Everybody in the Obama inner circle was focused on this down the stretch.